Okay, my name is James Williams Jr. This is a two-part video, so there's going to be a lot of talking, and I'm going to try to narrow some things down. Yes, I had to change my shirt because my yellow shirt I almost got stung by a bee. So yeah, that did like almost happen. So that kind of sucked. That's why I changed shirts. Okay, so I don't have Days of Our Lives to distract me, so I want to address my Guardians of the Earth redo. So as you guys know, if you're watching this and you've been watching, and I've made all kinds of hominous threats of violence towards putting this thing back together because it's something I need to do for me, since the original copy is somewhere in Alabama on somebody's desk somewhere, and they have not sent it back yet to 512 Rougemont, Charlottesville, Virginia, just in case you're watching, wherever you are, whoever you are. Please send it back. There don't have to be any cops or anything involved. If you have it and it still exists, and if you send it back, it'll be easier for me to get someone else to put the special effects in so I can put it up here on YouTube. Okay, got that out of my system because it's probably not going to happen. But if it does before I die, you know, I want to put this thing back up before I turn 47. Before I turn 46 is not an option, but before I turn 47, I intend on having it up. And if I'm blessed by the good Lord, I hope to be acting in real work by the time I'm 45 and a half, which is well past. Okay, so by the time the 6.6 months of me being 46 happens, hopefully by then someone will take notice of me and I will have the freaking chance, the shot that I need that I never got. Okay, that losing my footage really put me in the non-running of getting what I wanted for these YouTube channels. Okay, so let's begin. In 2010, I embarked on a journey that was basically the continuation of my life being a downward spiral. And I was actually going to write a book called My Life, the Downward Spiral, but other things started happening in my way. So in 2008, 2009, I had made a film which was webisodes called Guardians of the Earth. Alright? And in that film, I am Wind of the House of Wind. And then I have CLS, who is Ice of the House of Water and Ice or whatever. J Diz was the Flame. Tay was Steel. And my boy Charles was Steel. He was Earth. Alright? So basically, you got the 5 elements, etc. And then I had my boy Courtney as Daikon Dark Cloud, the bad guy, and I had my boy Rodney as the minion, and then we had I can't remember his name. I think it was like a Trey or a Dre. I have to have the cast to remember. He played the news reporter. He really didn't want to be in the movie like a big time, so he made a cameo. Okay, so that gets you out of the way of the cast. And there's some blooper reels somewhere in. I think some of them might be on Facebook. Some might be on MySpace. I don't know where they are, but I know they do exist somewhere other than on somebody's desk in Alabama. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the rundown, and this might likely be a 2-part video. I set out to make this channel about Kung Fu. I set out to make it about Kung Fu movies. We filmed at the Monticello Trail, we filmed at the River in Greenbelt, we filmed in front of the Mickey building downtown. That was going to be like the finale, you know. So I had a vision, and in this vision we have 5 heroes, kind of Power Ranger-y, kind of not, and we kind of we set on this journey, and it was working pretty well, you know, until I handed my masterpiece off to someone else who dropped the ball, and here I am. I don't hold him completely responsible because it's more my fault than his, because had I been wise enough to just know that he couldn't do it, I could have went somewhere else. But I didn't do that because you have to have faith in your friends. And I had way too much faith in my friend. I'm still friends with him. I'm still angry as hell about it because somebody in Alabama has my shit, you know. And I could be doing so much more now. I could have had a career. I could have been on the show Warriors, like anything right now, if people actually would have looked at my stuff and gave me a shot. Now, the thing with acting, as I've addressed it before, you know, acting's not the hard part. Getting discovered, getting the chance is the hard part. Now, the pressure, because I'm 45 now, is on. Versus me being 25 and 35, when I started filming, I was 27 years old. My first film was called Fallen Dragons. And the reason I made that movie was because there's a studio here in Virginia that promised us Hollywood East. They never sent me a copy of my stuff back. Sundance sent it back. They told me that I sucked, and that was great because I got a response. That studio that I mentioned has barely made any movies here in Virginia, and they didn't call for an appointment. They didn't call for a member of SAG or none of that. They just said show up, which is what I did. Then when I made that movie, because they sent me away, as soon as I got there, they sent me away. And I'm not going to promote them because they have made Kung Fu movies. They have made other movies. And they've never, not one time, even considered looking back into me. And I'm pretty pissed off. Alright? So they don't get any free promotions. I'm not going to mention them or anything like that. And I don't really care. I had to check the lights. But you know, when you work so hard to get somewhere. And you have dreams. And the people in charge pretty much slap you in the face. There you go. So, Fallen Dragons was a bust. Then I made another movie called Dragon's Breath. Shout out to Mr. Lee. I'm sorry I have failed you epically, sir. But, you know, I'm doing everything I can. If I can make it, I promise I will make up for that shit. Mr. Lee played a friend of my Sifu, because my character was half Chinese and half black. And the Sifu was my grandfather, and it's a legendary thing about a Dragon's Breath. Now, for those who are not of Chinese descent, I got the story from an old Chinese legend about a powerful warrior who once had the breath of a dragon. Now, I probably totally mistranslated that. He might have had really bad halitosis, but I took it as an opportunity to, hey, let's make whoever has the dragon's breath become super strong. Invincible even. Maybe not bulletproof, but invincible to the degree where modern things could not hurt them unless you knew, for Japan, Kiba Nagoku, or the Way of the Fang, or the Touch of Death. Okay, so we got that straight. So I made that. And we didn't get anywhere with it, so let me tell you where the problems began. The problems began with not being able to get more martial artists like I did in Fallen Dragons. The problems also began when the girl who was going to play my love interest, much love to her, I wish her well, decided 2 days before filming that she didn't want to do it. So I had to improvise with that. And I think I posted the video up on here. I won't swear to it, but I'm pretty sure I posted it. I don't know how I did it, but I'm pretty sure I posted it. So I have to comb through my videos. But yeah, you know, that was going to be the second thing to propel me. And in that, I didn't have this ponytail, I had a rat tail. Because I was coming off of Fallen Dragons. Because if you ever get to see it in the untrained eye, you'll never notice. But if you're a trained eye like mine, you'll notice that my hair took a dramatic shift from being short to growing long to being short to growing long until I think when it ends, I think I'm short haired again. Actually, I don't remember. If I ever find it, I'm gonna put it up. So that being said. We're gonna go from there. I made a movie called Path of Ascension. In the Path of Ascension, you were the 5 elements, and technically it was 4 elements because I had to fight 3 dudes and I was the 4th element. And so we were fire, water, earth, and air. I was air, Charles was earth, Josh was fire, Chris was water. So since he has water and ice is a form of water, we used it as ice. And fire and flame are one and the same, so Josh was the flame, and Charles was the earth. And we had good special effects in there, and so me and my little band of merry men got to arguing about how much time they had in the short film screen time. And what I told them was really quite simple. It's your fault. I have the most screen time because I did most of the filming, and I couldn't get you guys to film with me. And so that led to us making the webisodes of Guardians of the Earth. So Path of Ascension was the origin of the Guardians of the Earth. And then I couldn't really call it Path of Ascension they needed to have names. They needed to have codes. They had names. They just needed like a premise. They needed a code. They needed to have a reason for existing. As most stories, you have your characters, but you have to have purpose to move the story along. So, Guardians of the Earth takes place between 3 to 6 months. For argument's sake, we'll say 6, but I'm pretty sure it was 3 months after I had established leadership of when to be Guardians, because we picked up where our parents left off. So if we get any older, we can make prequels and have us play our parents. Okay, so that would be awesome. Plus, by then, I'd be rich enough to have technology and have some people play me younger. And if we ever found the younger footage, we could redo that, or we could just remake the whole damn thing. But anyway, that being said, Path of Ascension opened the door to me learning about special effects on computers and stuff like that. And so, being that I personally couldn't do it, my friend who was working at the university at the time was more than gung-ho about doing it. So I told him, okay, the studio that would not give me a job to this day wants me to make a movie. So when we did that movie, it didn't work. So I figured if we make another movie and I can send it back to them, they'll probably give me a shot. Well, that didn't happen, and they never got Path of Ascension because, they didn't send me the other thing back, and I didn't think that would work out. Now, I missed the movie, so let me rewind a bit. There was an MTV show called Made, and so I made 2 actually, because one was mine and one was not mine. The one that was mine was called A Clone Affair. And in A Clone Affair, I got to fight me, Josh got to fight Josh, and we got to fight each other's clones. And basically, I kind of got the idea from one of Marvel Comics' Double Dragon, where Jimmy and Billy Lee fought all the clones and then they wound up fighting each other. Alright? So I took that and I decided, okay, I can turn this into a movie if I can get the right thing. So my boy, worked at the university, taught me about green screens and blue screens and things like that, and so we did that. I know what you're thinking, how did I get back here from going to the Guardians of the Earth? Don't worry, I'm bringing it all back around in a second. So anyway, we got all the filming, we got all the green screen done, we got everything put in, we put in fake backgrounds in places we'd never been because we fought on a bridge and all kinds of other stuff. And it got lost or destroyed or something. Or it might be here, I'm not sure. But anyway, after we did that, I did another film called The Cleanup. That was not my film, that was someone else's film. And that would be like film number 4 or number 3. I don't know. In order, it would probably be Fallen Dragons, Dragon's Breath, Clone Affair, Cleanup, Path of Ascension. So I have 5 movies under my belt. None professional. Okay? And that being said, we decided we're going to do webisode series. So now I'm back around full circle. So we decided to do this webisode series, and it was called Guardians of the Earth. Initially, there was supposed to be 13 episodes. I had to break it down to 7 because filming independent films, you have a short window of filming. You have a short window of getting your concept art together, getting your story together, and we didn't do storyboards or anything. It's all up in here. So I knew what I wanted, I knew I had it, and I didn't have a bad guy. So the first thing I did before we started filming was I started going to places like the mall and all other places, and by the grace of God, I met Courtney. And he played the bad guy to the T. He even added things to it that was kind of what I felt degrading. He was okay with it. So he had to talk me into letting it happen. And I do appreciate that. But I was honestly scared because of all of our skin tones being different. And I was like, okay, I don't want this to sound like it's reverse racism. And he's like, hey, I'm used to it. Go with it. We got you. And so, he convinced me into, it being okay. And so him and Josh had some lines that I left in there. I found them completely offensive because they were reverse racism. And they enjoyed it, and they had a good time. I, on the other hand, was shaking in my shorts. It's like, okay, this is just not right. But if you ever get to see it, when the fight scene and the lines are put together, Courtney's a fucking genius. And it was fine by me to let it stay. So we got to work. So we got to working on these films, and we had maybe 2 or 3 hiccups with certain people not showing up for work. Not showing up to do their part, not showing up, and they were critical for the film. Very critical. This is when they call it rewriting on the fly, which is why you have the option of improving. And improving is always awesome because if certain actors in independent films don't show up, your whole project can go before you even know what the hell happened. So two of the actors decided that they didn't want to do it, or they broke my golden rules. So let me lay you down what my golden rules, and then I will continue. My golden rule is this, because everybody has their thing, and everybody has their let's see, their elixir or whatever. And I had some golden rules that I laid down. Really simple rules, because one, I'm not a snitch, and two, if you want to do things that you shouldn't, I'm not your daddy. It's not my job to tell you what you can and can't do. But if you're gonna be an actor, if you're going to be a celebrity, if you're going to be anybody in this business, you got to have two things. One, you got to have the will to want to be in this business because it's a hard business. And two, you have to have enough control of yourself to understand that if you are committed, you need to be committed. And they really weren't committed. Alright? My rule is simple. If you're going to drink alcohol, or if you're going to smoke weed, or whatever, whatever your extracurricular activity is, here's my rule. Sunday through Thursday, you're your own person. Do whatever you want. But come Friday night, as hard as it may be, I need you sober Saturday morning. I need you sober. I need you up at 5 o'clock. And I need you at my door at 9 a.m. sharp. And by 9 a.m. I mean 9:30, 10 o'clock. And because of distance of travel and, washing and eating and stuff like that, letting your food settle, you need a little bit of extra time. So if I give you a motivated time that you should be there, that's the time that you should be at least ready to go. So when you get there, the meeting is only going to take 10 minutes, and then we're off to the races. Okay, so two of my actors didn't do that. So we killed them in the first episode. Okay? It wasn't my choice. There was a vote. There was a meeting. They didn't come to the meeting. They didn't come to the set. So, I voted them in. I was outvoted by 5 other people. So, if you're not going to come to work, then you probably shouldn't say you want to do it. Now, in Hollywood terms, they will probably never work in Hollywood. If they struck it rich, it would be by the lottery alone. Their extracurricular habits would probably make them go broke, like in a nutshell. And here's the thing on that. I'm not judging them. I'm not putting them down or any of that thing. I'm just saying because this happened with me in Dragon's Breath with the girl who waited until like the last possible moment to quit, which was bad because she quit it 2 days before we started filming. I couldn't find a love interest in time. And the ladies that I used in the film, even though they were dancers, one was just too stiff to carry the role. And you can't have a girl who's going to be too stiff to carry the role. Especially if she's not a martial artist and I have to teach her combo kicks and I have to teach her all kinds of other stuff. So that's kind of why Dragon's Breath went way the wayside. So, if you see it, you'll be like, if you just watch the kung fu scenes, good to go. But if you watch it for what the story was supposed to be, yeah, I'll be like getting like squished tomatoes for Rotten Tomatoes. That kind of thing. How long have I been talking? Okay, it's been 18 minutes. I'm going to continue this on. So, I know you see them damn lights. I just jumped down your little sister's throat about that. Okay, so we're going to make a second part now because I know you guys just heard me cuss out children. Thank you.